The Uninvited is a 2009 American psychological horror film. It is a remake of the 2003 South Korean horror film A Tale of Two Sisters, which in turn is one of several film adaptations of a Korean folktale that I'm not going to embarrass myself trying to pronounce in its native tongue and just roughly translate as the story of Rose Flower and Red Lotus, which is the story of two sisters whose mother dies and they are later abused and killed by their stepmother only to have their ghost reveal the truth. Sounds like a pretty interesting plot. Ghost murder with an American twist. So, how exactly does this movie start? With the fires of hell? Of course, I suspect nothing less than subtlety from this movie from now on. Oh wait, it actually begins with the end of Sleepaway Camp. You better be careful, guy. If Sleepaway Camp has taught me anything, it'll be revealed at the end of the movie that she has a penis. This is our main character, Anna, played by Emily Browning, and she's not having fun at this beach party with Loverboy over here, so she decides to leave, and on her way home, she bumps into a bag full of bad CGI and mediocre jump scares. Don't go out. Seems normal enough. I can't tell you how many times I've had a talkative child's severed head inside a garbage bag. So Anna decides to run home only to find her terminally ill mother alone without her caretaker in the boathouse. The boathouse the family has decided to move her into because she's terminally ill. Charming. I'm supposed to feel bad for the upper middle class family that not only can afford a boathouse but decided to kick their sick dying mother out of said house into said boathouse simply because she's sick. Anna then runs off to find said caretaker, only to find the evil raven from Indigo Prophecy in a bleeding keyhole, which leads to the boathouse exploding. What? It is revealed to us that this is just a recurring nightmare that Anna has that she is currently telling her therapist. Anna is in a psych ward after attempting suicide after her mother's death, and her therapist decides that the best thing for her is to go home with the caveat of, "Oh Anna, you so crazy." But it's okay though, she can go home. She just only has recurring nightmares and repressed memories about the death of her mother in a tragic fire. No, it's fine, whatever, great therapist guy.
Here's what I think. We survive by remembering. But sometimes we survive by forgetting.
Yeah, that's right. Just forget about it. Now, where did I put that medical degree? But yes, Anna gets to go home, and we move forward to her packing her things and seeing her dad outside waiting for her before she gets interrupted by Miss Subtlety.
Pretty little Anna, going home, sweet home. Do you really think they fixed you?
Wait, they had Anna locked away in a mental institution for the severe scratches on her wrist? Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying attempting suicide or even self-harm isn't a problem, but I am saying that the scars on her wrist aren't really that many, nor do they really look as significant as they would be if she had attempted to kill herself. It just looks like she's been cutting, and by the looks of those scars, it was probably her first time, and they locked her away for that. Seriously, that just implies that this family has its members locked away whenever they're slightly sick. Oh. That's okay, Anna. I have a crappy family too. But anyway, all smiles. Anna gets to go home to her loving father who, in between the time of burying his wife and locking one of his daughters away in a mental institution for severe scratches on her wrist, found time to write a book and dedicate it to both Anna and her sister Alex. And if he weren't any more amazing, he even found time to bake her cookies.
Rachel made them. She was going to come today, but I told her I wanted you all to myself. She's been great, Anna. Really, she has been. I don't know what I would have done
Dad,
without.
got me to yourself.
That may have seemed weird, but that's because Anna knows her stepmother will be Spunky Elizabeth Banks. But the question is, which version of Spunky Elizabeth Banks are we getting? I'm hoping for Zack and Miri make a porno Spunky.
You're early. I'd hug you, but welcome home.
Look at that PG-13 fan service. Also, that's the face of someone that just realized we're getting annoyingly spunky Old Navy commercial Elizabeth Banks. Anna is quickly met by her sister Alex, who gives the rundown on what's been happening ever since she was locked away, was put away for her own mental health. But after an argument about how her father never apparently sent Alex's letters to Anna while she was locked away, and another Elizabeth Banks Old Navy commercial, Anna goes upstairs to enjoy some memories. The kind of memories that send a chill up your spine. Anyway, Anna decides to do a little property damage in memoriam to her mother, and spunky Elizabeth Banks is not too happy about that.
Maybe try a sledgehammer next time.
I'm so glad to have you back. I hope it works out so you can stay.
That's not something that a step-parent says to their child. That's something that a kidnapper says to their victim after they've got away but were recaptured before they had a chance to reach the police. Anna and Alex go down to the pier for a little sister bonding, but no time for that. Cute boy on a boat alert.
I followed you home that night, Anna. I was here. I saw everything.
Running a little late. Aren't you, Matt?
Why does every character in this movie deliver lines like a serial killer? It makes no sense. Also, what happened to Alex? I mean, we see her dive in the water right before Pretty Boy shows up, but we never see her come back up for, like, air or anything. I mean, we see her again later that night with the family in the living room, but no one seems to care other than Anna. But then again, that makes sense in this family dynamic with the dad who locks the daughter away for attempting suicide after he locked the mom away while she was terminally ill.
Father of the Year.
Anna, sick of spunky Elizabeth Banks' Old Navy commercials, decides to go down to the boathouse where she gets to hang out with Alessa from Silent Hill. Still better than the entirety of Silent Hill Revelations. So this little vision of ridiculousness prompts Anna and Alex to learn more about Rachel. Oh, yeah. Elizabeth Banks' character's name is Rachel. I keep calling her Spunky Elizabeth Banks, but her name's Rachel. Also, apparently Alex is just along with one of Anna's crazy visions that she didn't see. But then again, this is the girl that can hold her breath until midnight, so, you know, whatever. Anna and Alex quickly come up with a scheme to have Anna go into town with Rachel so Anna can get a chance to talk to Boat Boy and find out what he saw that night in order to validate whatever crazy vision Anna just had.
I always told myself, he'll be dead very, very soon. You know, Anna, we all have things in our past that we're ashamed of.
Ugh. Okay, that scene may have seemed weird. It mostly just consists of Anna asking Rachel about some pearl necklace that she has and her old patients, of which she responds that she didn't like most of them except for Anna's mom. But literally, that scene serves no purpose other than two things. One, to establish Rachel as crazy, and two, to find a new and fantastic way for Elizabeth Banks to turn me on, then turn me off, then turn me on, then turn me off again, and then turn me like halfway. Which is weird because they're basically saying crazy Elizabeth Banks has the sexual equivalent of a dimmer switch. And while Rachel is prattling on about what I can only assume would be her burning down a church because she didn't like the color of the wallpaper, Anna is plagued by visions of the garbage pail kid over here for what appears to be almost no reason, as we haven't established who this young girl is, just that Anna has visions and they don't seem to make sense. Anyways, while Rachel and Anna are shopping, Anna manages to sneak away from Rachel to find Boat Boy and ask him what he saw that night. He agrees to tell her what he saw that night, but he will only tell her after his shift when he meets her at 11 o'clock at night at the giant rock spire by Anna's house. Seriously, dude? While you're at it, why don't you just go meet Scar at the Gorge or Simba at the Elephant Graveyard? In a movie like this, you're asking for death.
Couldn't find the milk? Yeah. We should go. Okay. Oh, and Matt, you won't need to make deliveries to the house anymore. That's gonna be my job from now on.
You know, you might have thought that was weird, but the reason why Rachel acts like that to Boat Boy is because she just realized that he's the opening kill kid from Final Destination 3. I repeat, this kid is asking for death. Back at home, Anna meets up with Alex, who's been rifling through Rachel's things. They don't manage to find much except for her lingerie and this chrome vibrator. Oh, also she has a bunch of needles and tranquilizers. What? I don't see anything wrong here. Just a woman, some lingerie, a chrome penis, and enough drugs to take down Charlie Sheen. I don't see anything wrong with that. In fact, it's probably the greatest love story ever told. Alex and Anna go to meet Matt later at Pride Rock, but he never shows up, so they cuddle. Now, you may think it's weird that I refer to two sister characters as cuddling, but that's mostly because they don't look alike. One of them is technically British, and on top of that, they have almost no chemistry whatsoever. In fact, the only chemistry they showcase is when their pup named Scooby doing their way through Elizabeth Banks' past life. And it suffices to say that that does not make me think of them as sisters. That makes me think of them as two hot chicks rolling around in the bed together. Matt sneaks into Anna's room later and, oh yeah, a little fan service for the girls. Until he decides to go all exorcism of Emily Rose on her. Okay, first off, that was genuinely creepy. Secondly, that's some pretty solid practical effect because I actually believe they broke that man's spine. And third, and most importantly, that's exactly what that character deserves. I mean, let's be honest, people. He's been getting Care Bear stared by creepy Elizabeth Banks for about a third of the movie, and he decided to try to meet these girls on the top of a mountain incredibly unstable. He was destined to die. That doesn't surprise anyone. As predicted, Anna wakes up to the fact that Matt fell off the top of Dante's Peak, and she decides that this is the time where she will finally tell her father that not only does she believe something sinister is going on, but that something has very much to do with Rachel.
Matt wasn't just on the water last night. He was coming to see me.
Anna, what happened to Matt is not your fault.
I saw Matt in town yesterday. He told me he saw what happened the night of the fire. Rachel overheard us. She didn't want me to talk to him anymore. She didn't want him to come here ever again.
Anna, why would Rachel say something like that? I know this is difficult for you. It's been hard for all of us, but please don't do this. Okay? Just don't do this.
So in the list of things that Anna's father's done in this movie so far, he's 1. Locked his terminally ill wife away in a boathouse. 2. Started banging her nurse after she died in an explosion. 3. Locked his daughter away in an insane asylum. 4. Neglected both of his daughters, both verbally and emotionally. And 5. When his daughter brought up the fact that she feels concerned about the woman he just started banging and doesn't know much about, basically told her in the most fatherly way possible, please don't ruin my chance to get some sick trim. I personally hope this guy dies before the end of the movie, so this way he can complete his evil villain's checklist by doing something like creating a weather machine or going back in time to kill John Lennon. Anyway, Alex and Anna do more snooping on Rachel, only to find that none of her past employers say she ever worked there, which wouldn't be too weird, seeing as how a lot of people lie on their resumes. But when Anna goes to confront her about it, this scene follows.
Your social security number's for someone named Rachel Summers, but she's a school teacher from New Orleans. She died 5 years ago.
You know what, Anna? I don't think this is going to work out. He's very concerned. He's beginning to think that it was a mistake letting you out. You won't take this away from me. I won't allow it. Now get out. I have guests coming.
To be fair, we are clearly dealing with a mentally damaged girl in Anna, but the character of Rachel is about as subtle as a hammer to the side of the head, which is to say that her scenes filled me with a small amount of dread that I haven't felt since I realized that God's Not Dead was getting a sequel. But seriously, just see how she reacts when Anna accidentally knocks down the roast she's cooking for this big dinner.
You're next.
What are you trying to do to me?
What happened?
The next day at Boat Boy's funeral, Anna sees the little redheaded stepchild again, who leads her to some graves. After getting the names off the graves, Anna and Alex do some Google food and find that the 3 kids were drugged and killed by a woman named Mildred Kemp, who was the family's nurse, who they believe is Rachel's real identity. So they plan on taking her pearl necklace away from her, which looks extremely similar to the pearl necklace of the children's mother that Rachel has mentioned in the past that she got from a former employer.
Yeah, well, lucky for us, now we have proof.
Yeah, if we can get our hands on them.
Don't worry about that. This ends tonight.
With a reaction like that from someone like this, I expect nothing but hilarity to ensue. Jesus Christ, or a final boss battle from an RPG? Jeez, lady. that was a lot more intense than I expected it to be, but she does make it to the police with the pearl necklace as evidence, so I guess that means she wins the ultimate prize. Congratulations! Johnny, play the victory music! Anyway, Anna explains to the chief of police, that she thinks that Rachel is a killer and that she's afraid that Rachel is going to kill Alex before she gets a chance to stop her. In order to calm her nerves, he tells her to rest while he goes and saves Alex.
Mom? Don't be afraid. I'm a nurse.
So she woke up from a dream about seeing her loving mother, only to have it revealed to be a crazy person trying to drug her. Yeah, I've had the Bill Cosby dream too. So Rachel takes the doped up Anna home and starts undressing her while talking about wanting a daughter of her own and explaining how she's barren.
I'm never gonna have children. I can't. It's never stopped me from imagining what it'd be like to have a daughter. But now you've taken that away from me.
Seriously, minus the credits, we are like 10 minutes left in this movie, and they cannot stop pushing this Rachel is crazy gimmick, which leads me to believe that she's not crazy, and in fact, Anna and Alex are, which is made even more poignant by the fact that Alex decides to sneak up behind Rachel to, I don't know, probably tickle fight her as Anna goes to pass out. I expect only good things to follow the next scene.
What is this? Blood. Hope this is not Chris's blood.
But just take a look at this. It's Forrest. Oh my God.
Oh my goodness, I just can't believe that anyone would be dumb enough to think that Alex wouldn't have killed Rachel in this situation. Seriously, did you guys actually think she was going to get into a little slap and tickle fight with her? No, she literally was explicitly told by Anna that you probably need to kill her in order to end this. So yeah, dead chick in the trash. What's up? Color me even more surprised by the fact that Anna and Alex's dad gets home to find out that they murdered Rachel, and then he winds up locking them both away because there's something wrong with both of them, even though Rachel's clearly the crazy one, even though she's not, even though she's been acting crazy, and whatever, they both go to jail at the end.
Are you alright?
It's Rachel, Dad. Rachel started the fire.
What are you talking about?
And she drugged me, and she drugged Alex.
What? Anna, you know what happened to your sister. She died. In the fire. It was a year ago. Alex is dead.
Dun, dun, dun.
What have you done?
What? What do you mean, what has she done? She's covered in blood, has a bloody knife, and there's a dead Elizabeth Banks in the trash. What do you think she did? So it gets revealed to us that Anna is the one who actually blew up the boathouse, and in the process of blowing up the boathouse and killing her mother, she also accidentally killed Alex. But here's the thing. She blew up the boathouse because she was getting kerosene and forgot to close off the valve properly. Why was she getting kerosene, you may ask? Because she went to the house after leaving the beach party with Boat Boy and caught her dad cheating with spunky Elizabeth Banks. And that's not even to mention the fact that the three children whose graves she looked up and thought that Rachel was the one that killed them was actually just a repressed memory of a story that Miss Subtlety from the beginning of the movie told her, who is the actual Mildred Kemp. Then the movie feels the need to showcase all the times we're quote-unquote pulled the wool over our eyes, but here's the thing. All the scenes where Anna thinks she sees Alex are all conveniently placed, and the plot is only moved forward because the plot lies to you. Yes, I get it, it's from Anna's point of view, but it still lies. Then the movie has the gall to showcase off the fact that her father is looking out the window longingly wondering what went wrong with Anna, like we're supposed to feel bad for Dr. Doofenshmirtz over here.
Yeah, I'm supposed to feel bad for the guy that added cheating on his terminally ill wife to the list of evil supervillain things to do. You know what? I'm actually starting to think he might have went back in time and killed John Lennon. And all that stupidity is capped off with us seeing Anna seemingly happy to be locked away in a mental institution because she doesn't have to be around the crazy psychopathic douche nozzle that is her father. So all in all I have to say about this movie is that it is a reprehensible, unforgivable piece of mediocrity. I mean, it's not the worst horror movie I've ever seen. We'll get to those, don't you worry about that. And it also does have a lot of qualities that I do like. When I first watched the movie, I actually didn't notice the twist of Anna being the actual killer. Maybe that's because I was too busy being creeped out by spunky Elizabeth Banks, or maybe it was because I was yelling at characters on screen because of their unbelievable stupidity. I mean, this movie does fall to a lot of typical horror tropes, but it's nowhere near as bad as the movies that would follow, including the slew of found footage films. So all in all, I found it to be okay. I'd recommend it to pretty much anyone else that was looking for a mediocre horror movie from the mid to late 2000s. So that was The Uninvited, a pretty decent horror movie if I do say so myself. I wonder what movie I'll review next, and whether or not it'll take me a year to finally get that review done. Well, to give you a hint, it's a movie that has Lloyd Kaufman in it, but he's not the writer, producer, or director, and it's not made by Troma, which means it probably sucks asshole.